So at the time of this video, the Panasonic S1 II has been getting a lot of hype, and for good reason, because for its price class, there's simply no other full frame camera or otherwise that gives you as many features as the S1 II, even leading to some longtime creators who've used Sony or Canon moving over to Panasonic. However, after some thought and after the hype has dialed down, I kind of figured that there's actually a better camera than the Panasonic S1 II, and it's actually older. So which camera am I talking about? Well, it's actually this camera that I'm shooting this with right now. This is the Panasonic S5 IIX full frame camera. And to be honest with you, just getting the base S5 II, it's going to give you like 97% of all the features of the S5 IIX at a much lower cost. So I would recommend for most people to just get the S5 II. Now, before I get into the reasons of why I think the S5 II and S5 IIX is a better camera than the S1 II, let's go ahead and talk about the clear advantages that the S1 II offers. And this won't be a list of everything, but it's going to cover the main things that the S1 II offers that these S5 II and S5 IIX doesn't offer. First, let's start off with 4K at 60 frames per second with no crop. So this is going to be a big feature because a lot of creators out there, they do shoot at 4K at 60 frames per second, and with both the S5 II and S5 IIX, they do have a crop, whereas the S1 II does not. Plus the S1 II can do 4K at 120 frames per second, and if you want an even higher resolution, you can do 6K open gate at 30 frames per second or at 60 frames per second with 5.1K. And the S1 II does offer a newer sensor. It has faster readout speed, so it has less rolling shutter. So it's going to be really important for those out there who do a lot of fast movement or fast panning type videos. And then in terms of stabilization, the S1 II offers 8 stops of in-body stabilization versus 5 stops, and it also offers you an optional ARRI-Log-C color profile and also 32-bit float audio with an additional XLR2 adapter. And then physically, the S1 II does offer more physical buttons, tally lights, plus the best flip out fully articulating screen of any camera. I think all cameras should have this design. And then if you wanted faster speeds, it does offer CFS Express B slot and also your regular SD. And so it does offer you a lot for what you are getting, especially considering the small package of the S1 II and any other camera in its price range. But despite all these amazing features that the S1 II offers, why do I say the S5 II and S5 IIX is a better camera? Well, it simply comes down to 3 main categories. Starting with the first one, and this one might be the biggest for some creators out there, and that is quite simply overheating. This is the one main weakness, and maybe the only weakness that the S1 II has for a lot of people out there, and that is simply overheats, especially in more demanding environments. Whereas with the S5 II and S5 IIX, I've rarely heard of it really overheating. I myself have never had overheat, but obviously I'm not using it at a pro level. But even professionals out there, they don't talk about overheating issues with the S5 II and S5 IIX like they do with the S1 II. So secondly is features. Even though the S1 II offers you a lot of features, so do the S5 II and S5 IIX. So when I listed the things that the S1 II offers that the S5 II and S5 II do not, everything else the S5 II does offer. Pretty much all the features that you would want, those cameras provide. And so the feature difference isn't as huge as you think, which leads me to the final thing. And I would say this is the most important thing for me, and that is quite simply value. The price that you're paying for the S1 II versus the S5 II and S5 IIX, it's pretty huge. And so at the time of this video, you could get a Panasonic S1 II for around $3,200 for the body alone. And then if you get a kit lens with it, it's probably going to be around $3,500. And even though that is a great price for cameras in this price range, when you compare it to the S5 IIX and especially the S5 II, that's where you're going to see the huge gap. Because right now, at the time of this video, for the S5 IIX, you could get the body alone for around $2,000. And then with the kit lens at $2,300. And if you go with the base model at S5 II, which is the one that I recommend, it gets even better. Because right now, you get the S5 II on sale for around $1,500 body only, and then with the kit lens it's going to be around the $2,000 to $2,100 mark. So that is going to be a huge difference, and you're not really losing a lot whenever you're going to the S5 II and S5 IIX. And that's why I feel that those cameras are going to be a better camera all around, especially for the price that you are paying. So if you actually had any thoughts on this with the S1 II or the S5 II or S5 IIX or any other camera that you feel is the best all-around creator camera for you, be sure to leave in the comments area below. And if you did want to support my channel and get these cameras or watch any of my previous review videos, I will leave links in the description area below. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on another episode.